Good morning, friends. We are going to learn statistics, the parametric test versus non-parametric test. It is very simple theoretical explanations. We have to memorize this and easily we get picked the numbers from the competitive examination in which simply asks identify the parametric and non-parametric test. Parametric. It is the summary value or numerical index like mean, median, standard deviation or variance of a variable for the entire population. Parametric tests, most commonly used statistical methods, are called parametric because they are involved in testing the values of parameters mean, median, standard deviation and are used only where a normal distribution is assumed. Normal distribution of the values or bell-shaped curve. This distribution is also called a Gaussian distribution. Parametric tests are in general more powerful, required a smaller sample size than non-parametric tests. The most widely used tests are the t-test, paired or unpaired, ANOVA, one-way non-repeated, two-way, three-way, linear regression, and Pearson's rank coefficient. The parametric tests are in general more powerful, require a smaller sample size. The non-parametric test, the most widely used test are t-test, is a parametric test. T paired unpaired. ANOVA test is a parametric test. One way repeated, two ways, three ways ANOVA. Linear regression and Pearson rank confidence. These are parametric tests. I again repeat, t-test, ANOVA, linear regression and Pearson rank correlation are the parametric tests. Now we comes to non-parametric test. Non-parametric tests are used when continuous data are not normally distributed. When dealing with discrete variables, it is also called distribution pretest. Some common situations for using non-parametric tests are when the distribution is not normal, the distribution is skewed, the distribution is not known, or the sample size is too small, greater than 30 to assume less than 30 to assume a normal distribution. Also, if there are extreme values or the values that are clearly out of range, non-parametric tests should be used. Most widely used chi-square test, Fisher's exact test, Wilcoxon's matched pair, Mann-Whitney U test, Kruskal-Wallis test, and Spearman's rank correlation test. Non-parametric tests are chi-square test, Fisher's exact test, Wilcoxon's matched pair, Mann-Whitney U test, Kruskal-Wallis test, and Spearman's rank correlation. Type of parametric test. In earlier we explained that parametric tests are ANOVA, student t-test, F-test, and linear regression. Non-parametric test or the method or mathematical procedures concerned with the treatment of standard statistical problems when the assumption normally is replaced by general assumption concerning the distribution function. Type of non-parametric test. Non-parametric test is Mann-Whitney U or rank sum test. This method is used to determine the significant difference between two independent sample groups. This test is also known as U test. U test is non-parametric test. Mann-Whitney U test or rank sum test is non-parametric test. Second, Kruskal-Wallis test or H test. Kruskal-Wallis test or S test is also a non-parametric test. It is kind of rank sum test. It is a rank dependent one-way ANOVA and interpreted using critical chi-square values. The sign test for the paired data, it is based on the direction plus or minus sign of a pair of observation and not on the numerical magnitudes. Second, it is discarded if paired observation difference is 0. Third, one sample run test. This test deals with the randomness with which the sample items have been selected. Second, it is based on order in which. Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. It is worked out, is a non-parametric test, worked out to determine whether there is a significant difference between the observed frequency distribution and theoretical distribution. It is also known as K-test. Another method of measuring goodness of fit of the frequency distribution. It is more powerful and easier to apply. Wilcoxon signed rank test. It accounts for the magnitude of difference between paired values and not only their signs. It is useful in comparing two populations. Median test of independent sample. This test is used to find out the significance of the difference between mean of the two or more independent groups using a common median of those groups. Canol test for concordance. It is applicable where two sets of ranking individuals are available. It is used to test the significance of the more than two sets of ranking individuals. So now we can able to parametric tests are ANOVA, student test, abscess, or linear regression. Non-parametric tests are Mann-Whitney U test या rank sum test, Kruskal-Wallis test or H test, U test, H test, one-way sample run test, K test, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, Wilcoxon signed rank test, median test for independent sample, or Canol test for confidence. This is all about the parametric and non-parametric tests. Simple question are find out which one are the parametric tests and the parametric tests are the t-test, ANOVA, linear regression, peer rank correlation. Non-parametric tests are chi-square, Fisher-Rex's test, Wilcoxon match pair, Mann-Whitney U test, Kruskal-Wallis test, K test, and Spearman's rank test. एप टेस्ट का ध्यान रखना है, एप टेस्ट पैरामेट्रिक टेस्ट है, जबकि यू टेस्ट, एच टेस्ट, के टेस्ट ये सब किसमें है? नॉन पैरामेट्रिक में है. Several times I have repeated this, and once again I repeat that t-test and app tests are the parametric tests, जबकि k test and u test are non-parametric tests. Last time, types of parametric tests are ANOVA, student t-test, app test, and linear regression, and Spearman's rank and Pearson rank correlation. Spearman's rank correlation तो नॉन पैरामेट्रिक में आ जाएगा. याद रखना है, पियर्सन रैंक कोरिलेशन टेस्ट पैरामेट्रिक है और स्पीयरमैन्स रैंक कोरिलेशन नॉन पैरामेट्रिक है. तो नॉन पैरामेट्रिक में क्या है भाई? काई स्क्वायर, एफ टेस्ट, के टेस्ट, यू टेस्ट, विल्सन कोक्स मैच पेयर, मैन-व्हिटनी और क्रुस्कल-वालिस टेस्ट, स्पीयरमैन रैंक कोरिलेशन. Thank you for watching this video.